Welcome to my first update of Birthstone Beauty Project Pan. It was created by Amanda and Jessica of the Pantastic ladies, and it's all about associating the birthstones of each month with a certain product and a usage goal. I have 12 products to update you on, so let's jump into it. Starting for January, I picked Rose Quartz, and I went with my Beauty Bar Baby Multi-Chrome Flake in the shade Unicorn Fantasy. This is what it looks like compared to a brand new multi-chrome flake, so as you can see, I actually did use quite a bit of this. When I brought it in, it was 5.9 grams. It is now 5.8 grams, which means I actually used 0.1 gram of this, and this stuff is super light, so the fact that I was actually even able to use a measurable difference is really quite awesome. I used this 12 times last month. For February, I brought in Tarte's Loose Mermaid Glitter. This has some big chunkies, it has some little chunkies in it, and I did wear this one time this past month. When I brought it into the project, it was 8.6 grams. It is now 7.8 grams, which means I used 0.8 grams of a product this past month. A product I am super surprised on the progress that I made because I did not expect this to happen this early. I thought maybe next month or the month after, but I actually managed to use up my Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum. This is what I brought in for March's Aquamarine. When I brought it in, it was 114.8 grams. It now weighs 95.7 grams, which means I used 19.1 gram of product, and I used this 54 times this past month. What kind of made this easy is the fact that it's about 20 years old at this point, so I was able to spritz this on in the morning, spritz this on in the afternoon for kind of a refresh, and then at night as well if I wanted to. So I was getting about 3 uses a day with this product, which is why I think I was able to go through it so quickly. For April's Diamond, I had my Zeesea glitter stick, which now looks quite a bit different because as you can see, it is empty. I actually ended up depotting this because whenever you try to use this stick and you roll it around, you can really only get it to that black line there. So I wasn't actually able to get all that product that was kind of sitting in the bottom of the tube. So I now have it in this little container, which makes it a heck lot easier, and this is how much we have left to go through. I used this 7 times this past month. The product that I brought in for May, I just wanted to get some organic use on, so I have no real goal. It's just more, just naturally kind of gravitate to them. And those were my Clionadh Cosmetics and Emily Violet Marie Dragon Fruit brushes. I really love these. These are super soft, probably because they're really new and I never used them before. And I'm happy to announce that this past month I used them 10 times. June was for Pearl, and I picked my Tarte Mermaid Face and Body Gems. I have the face ones on today. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video, so it's the second time that I'm wearing them, and unfortunately the glue is already kind of worn off, so I had to use some glitter glue to kind of make sure it adhered to my face. But I have worn these ones twice, and unfortunately I have not worn these ones yet, which is the ones that actually have the pearls on them themselves. As you can see, they're just kind of like down here, and then there's a couple kind of like mixed in here as well. So unfortunately no use on these ones, but a couple uses on the face ones. To make up for it, July's product has quite a bit of use. I can't believe it. When I brought this in, it was 363.9 grams. It is now 252.5 grams, which means I used 111.4 grams, and I used it 68 times. This is my Misha Red Algae Treatment First Essence, or just Red Algae Treatment Essence. There is no first in there, sorry. And I managed to go from all the way to the top here, all the way down here. I think if I had another like 2 weeks or so, I probably could have got through this one, so this is definitely going to be an empty for next month. For August Peridot, I brought in my Listerine Green Tea mouthwash, and the only reason that I have one singular use on this is because in my 26 for 2026, I have a mouthwash in there that is expired, and so I'm trying to get through that one before it goes off, goes bad, whatever happens to mouthwash when it expires. So I'm trying to use that one first, which is really close to being done, and then once that one's done, then we'll be able to get some good use on that one, or on this one. But until then, only one use, and I think that was just to say that I've been able to use all products in this project at least one time. For September was a Sapphire, and I have my ColourPop Volumizing Mascara in Blue Your Mind. I wore this 4 times this past month, and I think the thing that surprised me most was when I brought this into the project, it was 33.2 grams. It is now 33.1 gram, which means I have 0.1 gram of usage. I didn't know that you could actually measure usage of mascara. I thought it was going to be kind of like the chrome flakes that you just you don't really see much of a difference. So I'm actually quite happy with that. For October, which is my birth month, I was doing Opal, and I picked my Holo Taco Aurora Unicorn Skin, and I actually got quite a big difference on this one. I managed to use this 10 times this past month, and it went from 59 grams to 56.6 grams, which means I used 3.4 grams of product. My second empty of this project I have is for November, and November I picked Yellow Topaz. This is my Champagne Toast Candle from Bath & Body Works, and I'm actually a little bit disappointed in this. I really enjoy the scent of it. I think they did a great job with that. However, I lit this candle 13 different times, and I usually had it lit for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, which means I only really got like 13 to 16 hours of uses out of this candle, which I thought you got a lot more with these. So I'm kind of disappointed with the lack of product in general, but I really did enjoy the scent. When I brought this in, it was 661.1 grams. It is now 368 grams, which means I used 293.1 gram of product. For December, I picked Blue Topaz, and when I brought it in, it was at 5.6 grams. It is still 5.6 grams, which means I have no measurable difference. This is my Beauty Bar Baby Multi-Chrome Flake in the shade Unicorn Horn. This one's a little bit different because the one that I brought in for January, which was Unicorn Fantasy, was more orange. This one is more blue. I'll have a picture here comparing it what it looks like to a freshly opened product, and as you can see, there's a slight bit of difference, but definitely not as much as the orange one. I was definitely reaching more for the orange one than I was for the blue one. However, something like today where I have more of a cool tone look, I definitely reach for the more cool tone kind of chrome flakes. So hopefully we can start getting a little bit more usage out of this one, but unfortunately my Pan That palette is more warm tone leaning, which I think is why I definitely got more use out of the warm tones. I used these 4 times this past month. So that is my update for Birthstone Beauty. I think 2 empties in the first month is quite awesome. One of them I was kind of expecting to go through the candle. I just didn't expect to go through it as quickly as I did. And then the perfume was a surprise. Like I said, I was expecting it to be an empty maybe next month or even the month after that. I did not expect it to be an empty this month. So I'm quite happy with my progress. Thank you for checking in with me, and I hope next month I have just as much good progress to share with you. But until then, I hope the day treats you well, and thank you for watching this video. Bye!